of Novice Games this season. My name is Shinsei, and here along with me is Florida.
Hello there.
Today we have ourselves a game between Rio Redemption and Fortunate Sons. Rio Redemption's making a comeback with no Season 3 team. Now in Season 4 they have a team again, reinstating the franchise. And
Yeah.
Fortunate Sons becoming a new team under new management. Florida, what are your thoughts about these two teams for the season?
They're really interesting. We're gonna have to see if Rio can break the infamous Rio curse of going winless in season 2. I do know a couple of their players, such as RQT and Gordo. I know those guys are extremely strong. And then on the other side, Fortune Sun's a new team, but I do know a bunch of their names. Red Eye Maverick are extremely prevalent members, especially of the Marsupial Gaming. Those are the guys that are mostly the Wisdom Academy brands. And I know they are two really strong players from that organization. So I'm just going to be excited to see how this match ends up.
Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. Me personally, I used to coach Midnight on I think it was season 1 of Flux Cup for Exodus, which was a very pleasant experience. I had a great time coaching him. Maverick, I've had a few interactions with, I think, from coaching Guangzhou and having the pleasure of doing business with him as well. Not a lot on the side of Rio for myself, personally. I've heard good things about both RQT, Gordo, and TIE Fighter, all very solid players. And I really think that today is going to be a good match, and it's really going to be a big start for both teams, I think, and it's going to be a
Yeah.
good early win for whoever does.
Yeah, I've played with Red Knight. He was my main tank as we were the backup tank line for Wisdom Academy. I also know RQT. Also, I know a couple of these guys because I was able to. I was playing in the Pugs, so I know that there is a decent amount of power in both of these teams. There isn't really. I'm not seeing a major weakness, or I'm not. But obviously, the season's just starting. We don't really know anything about these guys. It's just gonna be interesting to see what they pull out. I honestly, I haven't really been interested in the meta either. So I'm interested to see what they play. Obviously, it's novice, so there probably won't be one set composition, but you never know. Just because novice tends to lean towards what people are most comfortable playing, and sometimes that's where you see most of the funky, wacky strategies coming out. As it looks like we're going to Nepal for the first map.
Yes, it does indeed look like we're going into Nepal. For Nepal, I'm honestly expecting a few hybrid comps. A Sig Ball on Sanctum, I believe, is what will most likely be played, and on the other two, I'm most likely going to be seeing a sort of rush brawl hybrid type thing with the Ryan Diva. Ryan Diva has been looking really good throughout. A lot of teams have been trying to emulate the 6-man from Owl as well, which honestly, in my opinion, I don't exactly agree with the 6-man, since Brawl is kind of just better, especially against the Mimir.
Are you talking about the Neo Goats with the Reaper Echo?
Yep, the Neo
Because
Goats.
the only reason that kind of came up was because Ryan
The Ryan
was
ban.
banned. Yeah,
Yep.
Ryan and also Tracer was kind of banned.
Yeah,
Ryan
exactly.
Tracer and Sombra were banned. Also Zen, but Zen
Yes.
doesn't really matter in this conversation. Also, I do think you meant like Shrine, which is the giant outdoor one for the ball sig,
I
right?
didn't actually. I did mean Sanctum with the
You mean
giant
the
pit.
Oh,
Mhm,
really? Wow,
mhm.
that's interesting.
I
'Cause I'm used to people kind of flipping where Sanctum, or not Sanctum, Shrine is mostly like the dive outside map, uh, where like people are more accustomed to playing Winston dive compositions on that map, or even Ball Sig, and then Sanctum's a lot more brawly. So, all right, it looks like everyone's ready. We're
yes,
just readying up right now, so
should be heading into
I'm
the game in just a
yeah,
second.
I'm just excited to see a little bit more action. It's been a little bit since I've casted, so
Oh
I'm
yeah, me
just
too. It's been a good 3 to 6 months since I've cast last.
I think it's been a year. That's how bad it's been.
Sheesh. All right, hopping in the
All
game
right.
here. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got going on here.
Yep.
Decides to load in for me. There we go. I'll obviously have to wait out the good 20 seconds here. See what people are going out with. See what rollouts we're gonna do. Looks like
Yep.
we are on. Is this Shrine? This is Shrine. Shrine here
This is
first.
Shrine. Yep.
Honestly,
Uh,
expecting either the Rhine or the Monkey here. Honestly.
yeah, it's 50-50.
Hmm?
It is looking like we're gonna see on the right. Maybe this is like, oh, what is it? It's a
6-man.
modified.
Modified 6.
Oh no, it looks like Shadow
Shadow Dive.
Dive
Ooh,
on the right.
Shadow
Shadow
Dive.
Dive coming
Okay.
out from Fortunate Sons and oh goodness.
Good old fashioned rush from Rio.
Yep.
Top Polar, excuse me, maybe going on to the May after they sim TP out, but it is still to be determined. Sim TP out just for spawn. Nope, they are going to be rocking the sim as they go straight on the point. Red Knight's team, with Fortunate Sons taking the top right rotation, looking for an engage here. They're going to be wanting to play a lot of attacks and a lot of coalescence, so see what they can get going on here. Red Knight taking a little bit of space as they look to engage. Still a hack comes out, maybe not quite. Red Knight still taking 50 above them, not a lot going on so far. That goes on to the 3. They can get any opposition out of it. Polar takes down Red Knight in the process, however. For Polar getting 2 actually on Ogda, making big plays already. Maverick falling out of mech. Not a lot of stabilization available here for Fortunate Sons right now, and Rio are just going to take the point relatively easy in this first fight.
Yeah, the longer the fight goes on for Rio, I think it actually got a lot easier for them to counter it, just because as Symmetra was building up turns constantly. In the end, it was just able to melt through most of the team, and we'll see an adaptation over to the McCree Ryan, just to increase the amount of burst damage, I think. I think that was something they were lacking on the initial fight.
It is. Red Knight gets stunned early. A few ultimates coming out already from RQT with the Deadeye. Gets hacked out of it, I believe. Yep, gets hacked out of it. Slam coming up online for Rio Redemption. Elmore come out very early, actually. Wall coming out as well, so is Window. Slam comes out, is blocked by Red Knight. Very nicely done from Red Knight. However, Maverick gets caught out by RQT and Polar. TIE Fighter also getting caught out, however, so this may be a stabilization opportunity. EMP comes out, however, Red Knight falls. That's a huge EMP. We'll see if anything gets a follow-up out of it. RQT dies, so does Polar. Gordo getting the follow-up pick on a Joe Razor, and it looks like not a lot is going to be done here. Rio Redemption just being able to stabilize on point using minimal ults.
Yeah, I think that EMP was kind of a misplay, to be honest, from T4-2. They had already lost 3 in the fight, and he actually died as he was casting out the EMP. He got the EMP off, but he also died immediately afterwards. So in the end, not a lot of value. They do have Shatter and Beat, and there's only a Beat on the other side, so this is a little bit of an advantage to fight Fortune Sons, but it's a little bit more even.
RQT is coming up with the high noon, however, entry Beat coming in. Not a lot of ult's going to be used here, I believe. Gordo getting the pick on a Red Knight really early on. Very good aggro aggression coming out from Rio Redemption, looking like a very solid start for first point here. Coming up on last point
that
already.
was an amazing, that was a really nice flashbang, swing through that just completely melted Red Knight in a second, and this is going to be final fight here.
A lot of ult's going to be coming up for both sides, I believe, is what it looks like. Not a lot of defensive ability for Rio, however, they have a good point control right now. High noon's coming out for both sides. Aggro Beat coming in, seeing if they can get anything done. Slam comes out, catches 2, that's actually massive. Maverick getting the pick on an RQT, that's a huge entry. Gordo and Polar both getting exit frags, though, as the point still remains under Rio. Maverick getting the VMAC and using Bomb. Looks like Gordo's going to be frozen on the side. Polar's still getting picks through and through. Mail comes out. TIE Fighter not able to eat it. Octo gets the pick on the Gordo as Polar gets another pick on the Octo. T4-2 getting the pick on the Polar, so it looks like it might be able to swing the way for Fortunate Sons. Red Knight coming back on the point. Not a lot of utility coming out from either side right now. Stabilization might be possible for Fortunate Sons. Joe Razor getting the pick on the RQT. TIE Fighter getting frozen in the process. Red Knight getting a few swings in. We now have a ball in play, hoping to do a little bit of damage to the backline, controlling point at the same time, and it looks like Fortunate Sons is going to make this fight work.
Yeah, that was kind of an all-in kind of fight. To be honest, I'm not 100% sure how Rio lost that fight. It felt like they had a little bit more of the old advantage. But in the end, nice turnaround for Fortune Sons. I do think them coming back on the Tracer and the Wrecking Ball, and also Joe Razor just able to get that pick off onto RQT on the Doom, stopping that value, really kind of swung the fight back Fortunate Sons' favor. Oh, goodness.
Sun coming out really early, not actually able to catch anything, I believe. Gordo going in for a crackhead pin. Reinhardt, or excuse me, Red Knight, not Reinhardt, going in for the pick on Polar. However, RQT equalizes. Immortality Field and Window both come out. Another May ult for T4-2. That's a very fast build. Catching out 2 members of Rio Redemption. Should be able to get the picks on the both of them. However, they only get the pick on the RQT. Ball looking to make space and keeping point stabilized. TIE Fighter with the 2-kill bomb on both of the supports. Might be able to clutch this out for the team fight. What just happened there with the Reinhardt? Slam came out. I don't remember from which side. It looks like it was from Fortunate Sons. However, Gordo just finds the capitalization on top of Red Knight. Point flipping over in favor of Real Redemption, another pin coming out from Gordo, looking for T for 2. Polar getting the pick on a touch, RQT getting the pick on a T for 2. And maybe Mora gets a touch. Mora does get a touch. See how long it lasts. However, Ball coming back on the point as well as the Monkey getting burned down rather quickly here, actually. RQT finalizing the pick onto the Monkey. Ball still swinging around for surprisingly long. However, Polar does manage to kill him. A lot of picks going on for the side of Rio, and they do manage to secure the point 100 to 57.
I think what really cost Fortunate Son that point is because they had to switch into so many stall picks. Their composition was left with not a lot of burst damage and not a lot of overall damage. They were kind of lacking because they only had a Mage Tracer. And while a Tracer can get the decent amount of pickoffs that you probably need a little bit more consistent damage in either McCree or a Reaper next to that Tracer. So just a little bit better play there, I think, from Rio. I think Fortunate Sons kind of was just on the back foot, and because of that, in the end, Rio won that point.
I agree completely. I think that Fortunate Son's definitely on the disadvantage of the comp side. Rio also, however, playing very well. Looking rather well practiced so far. Fortunate Son's definitely putting up a good fight, though. Getting the capture point, getting a little bit of progress. We'll see what they can do here with the Mei Sim. TP's out of spawn and on the point. We'll see who can get split first. It looks like Fortunate Sons gets the first wall up. Should be able to push this point for free on the Rhine Orisa, so should be getting a lot of spam damage done. Playing rather split here. However, Red Knight does get the pin, but a lot of picks going in the way of Real Redemption, actually. Controlling point here rather well. Has the turret set up. Polar just getting the picks, getting the turrets up, and the supports obviously supporting Polar to cap the point.
Yeah, the reason for that is they were running a double shield into a Symmetra, and if you notice, Polar already has his ultimate, and it was only one fight, while Joe Razor only has 36% because there is only a D.Va, only a Ryan that really build your energy off of anyways in that fight. And here we go as we continue into this. They've switched to Sigma here, just for a little bit more spam damage.
A lot of damage is going to be coming in from the side of both teams. How did that get blocked? What? Red Knight falling down very early, and we're coming out. A lot of abilities being used for Fortunate Sons to try to stay up. However, I don't think that it's enough. Octo gets the pick on the Gordo, but I really just don't think that's enough to stabilize. Simwall's still out. Sim actually just busting through shields right now. Those supports landing picks on the two important members of Fortunate Sons frontline. Oh my god, was that Sam with a 3K?
It was Sam with a 3K, and also the Shatter did go through, got a couple of people, but they weren't really able to capitalize on it because Sim immediately dropped the Sim wall, and they weren't able to really push in past that wall. However, yeah, I do agree. It just looks like Rio is really playing well coordinated and tight right now.
I agree completely. Getting a little bit of a stabilization out. Oh my goodness, RQT in the backline, literally sitting in the mail. Finds 3. A lot of ults being used for Real Redemption. However, they managed to take the fight, and RQT with a huge Death Blossom.
Yeah, that was amazing Death Blossom. Even though he died to the pin, what's kind of also funny is Goro pinned pinned the Sigma immediately afterwards and killed him, and then solo shattered Red Knight. This is Rio's map to lose right now.
Fortunate Sons map to lose, I believe. Few ultimates coming out for Fortunate Sons. However, the Sim wall to stabilize. We'll see what they can do with it. Gordo falls rather early, actually. More coming out as well. This fight actually is really winnable for Fortunate Sons if the— oh no, the server closed. Oh, that's so
no.
good. RQT, all of his work was just lost with the server close. Every League 0. I've never had this happen in any game or like production besides the 0.
So what usually happens is just a lot of if there's Symmetra on the field, it likes to throw the server into complete whack. I know.
Sorry, we're getting more from our production real quick. What was that?
We're going back. All right.
All right. So yeah, go ahead, Florida.
So what I'm trying to say, so this is not uncommon for maps, especially that feature heavily in Symmetra. I know this is common. There's a common occurrence on Liu Zhang, especially Night Market.
Yes.
Night Market is infamous. If both teams are running Symmetra,
it's just It's just a really interesting time if both teams are playing Symmetra.
I don't know how they're going to be able to make this fair. Both teams were about to win that map. The problem is, like, one was on 99, the other one was on like 92. I'm pretty sure, or not 99. It was a high percentage though.
It was a high percentage. I don't exactly know if it's overtime or not. So what we could do is we could look back at it. 99-0, but we have point. It would have to be, if anything, it would have to be an overtime fight, one last fight for Fortunate Sons with like no ults or anything. So I don't really know exactly what we're gonna do here.
I mean, if anything, I think the most fair would not go to Village, go to Sanctum. I'm not admin, right? So I don't know the exact ruling on this. We're probably gonna have to get someone in here, but it would have been fair if we just go to Sanctum. If someone wins if Rio wins Sanctum, then it doesn't really matter, right? But if they do, I don't know. Honestly, this is just confusing. This is, I think.
Looks like a little bit of discussion coming from both teams. Might be just Village again, 1-0 with Rio up, and I think they might try to do that. I know for fact, I think it was Flux Cup last season for Chicago Butchers. We had a similar problem against, I think it was Volcanic, maybe? Question mark?
Maybe.
But unpausing to see. Anyway, we had the
Yeah. Oh, we're on Sanctum right now. If you want to pause.
a lot of interesting stuff happening here, boys.
Yeah, there is way too many interesting stuff happening here. We probably need an admin to come in here and get a ruling on this. Yeah.
Alrighty. So, ladies and gentlemen, we apologize for the inconvenience. However, we are going to be sending you all to a break. Enjoy the ad. Smile. But thank you all for coming out so far. I appreciate it. We will try to get this figured out as soon as possible. Maybe get admin in, so we'll see what we can do. Thank you all.
Origin upon. Initiating match.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So we had a little bit of a discussion with the admins, and we are going to be skipping to Sanctum and playing out Sanctum and then Village if needed. Not the best of times for the game,
Yeah.
obviously.
Yeah, that
when
was
we're doing
just extremely unfortunate. It's always, yeah, it's not the best of time. It's only control usually that this happens on.
It's always
It's
only control.
always control. It's always control. I do remember there was a playoff game a couple of seasons ago that was interrupted by this, and there was
I
a
remember that one too.
there was a large fallout. Let's just say that. Nevertheless, we're going to be moving the Sanctum. Just to keep it fair. Sanctum is where you said Ball Sig is most popular.
Yeah,
We'll have to see. These guys have been leaning a lot into that Symmetra pick.
Rio
at least
definitely looking
Rio.
like
Rio
a
is
sim heavy team for sure.
especially on like these enclosed maps, and Sim can still work on this map point. It's not as common. All right, we're gone and we're in game now. It looks like so we'll have to see what they're gonna lean towards here. All right, it is looking no Sim. There's a Hanzo coming out from the side of Fortunate Sons, and a Reaper. There's Hanzo Sigma on Fortunate Sons, and then Reaper Diva on the side of Rio. For this point, I actually kind of prefer the Hanzo, to be honest with you, because the Hanzo does provide a little bit extra range. But if they brawl, if Rio plays hard brawl, it actually could be a disadvantage. So we'll have to see what happens here.
It can definitely be a disadvantage here. If Rio does the smart decision and focuses on the split that it looks like Fortunate Son should be making, however they are not making currently, looks like they're just going to be kiting, not really setting up for a split poke angle. A lot of kiting, spam damage coming in onto shields, etc., just wanting to keep map control and try to kind of spin around and get whatever advantage they can.
I do think I do agree because Fortunate Son's composition really relies on the longer ranges, so they're just trying to maintain their distance. But at the same time, they have to give up point control, just because they can't necessarily directly brawl in.
Point control is being given up already from Fortunate Sons in favor of Rio Redemption. 2 picks coming out from Rio Redemption rather early. A lot of abilities being used to get them and to try to sustain as well. However, not enough damage seems to be coming out from Fortunate Sons onto Rio yet. So for me specifically, I would want to see a little bit more of a split run with the Sigma and the Hanzo taking a little bit more off angles, and the Ryan and the rest of the core moving up onto their team trying to get a brawl. So basically like that, except Red Knight would have his team behind him.
Yeah, I will say that was kind of stupid of Red Knight trying to push on the point by himself. I actually like how they're playing this. They have point control, but they obviously have a little bit less range because against the Hanzo McCree, they're at an extreme disadvantage. So them playing inside this room forces. Oh god, but this dragon is gonna be huge.
Dragon might be huge. Joe Razor gets the pick with his Kree ult. Polar also getting the stabilization, though. Red Knight just goes off the map to get RQT. This fight is entirely winnable for Rio Redemption. Their game plan so far is really good. It's literally just get the point control, hide where they can't shoot us, and just win the game. That's basically what's going on here.
Yeah, it was looking a little shaky with that dragons, kind of disrupting them out of the room, catching. I think it was the Lucio of Samite out a little bit. But Red Knight just is kind of feeding right now. He's going in by himself on the point, and that's kind of putting his team at a massive disadvantage. They can't really brawl.
Yeah, honestly,
what?
Huge slam though from Red Knight. We'll see if he can get anything done. Oh my goodness! And then, oh man, I honestly don't have words for what's happening right now. Maverick having the flux from the heavens to make sure that he doesn't die due to boops, and securing the fight win 99-0 again. Using quite a few ultimates to take the fight again. Not really a lot to say about the fight. It was really scuffed. Red Knight landed a huge shatter. A few boops came through because of the pin. Sigma just rose from the depths of hell with his sigil.
Yep. Red Knight just did a flank shatter. He dropped down the lip and shattered them all inside the room. Not 100% sure how that worked. Now he's on the Wrecking Ball, so I actually kind of like this a little better than the Rhine. Just because... Yeah, because it caused a lot more disruption here. Oh
Yep,
my
exactly.
goodness.
You can already see just so much more disruption with the ball pick. Because he can get into their backline, get out for free. Since they don't have like that many stuns. Like, yeah, they have the McCree, but that's basically it. And he, like, Red Knight can just use his E to get out for free.
Yeah, and also what I really liked about it, engage, they dragoned, and then Red Knight slammed. I think it trapped. I think it was one of the supports. I think it was. But there was a really nice play coming out from the side of Fortunate Sons. Nice combination play there.
Very
Oh
nice
no, Red Knight!
already.
Oh no!
Red Knight- Ah, very unfortunate. Boot goes out, and Red Knight cannot stabilize from it. The brawl now coming on to the back line. Oh, massive slam from Gordo. RQT coming in with another 2k. Death Blossom trying to find more. However, not a lot more is needed. TIE Fighter gets the pick with the Diva Bomb. Red Knight trying to get a few more last minute stalls, but I honestly don't think that they'll get it. And it looks like last point and first game is going to go in favor of Rio Redemption.
That was another 99-0 by Rio Redemption. I will say the that was Samite's boot that just won them the round there. As soon as the Wrecking Ball goes away, you lose most of your engage and your ability to really build that space. And as soon as it happened, it was basically game over. And honestly, that was dominant from Rio. The first map was a little bit tighter, but that second map was it was basically all Rio. I do think that was a little bit of a flawed strategy coming up from Fortunate Sons. It's just Rio's composition could play such a better, both a tempo and could just play so clumped up in a safe space that their long range DPS couldn't really affect them. So I just feel like that was just a compositional difference overall.
I agree wholeheartedly.
But also Rio was able to play those advantages really well. They just captured point, held in the room, and whenever Red Knight would go in the touch, it was only Red Knight touching for some reason. I don't know what was with the rest of the team, especially because they had a Lucio to help out. Like you'd think they would use, I think it was touch on the Lucio. They should probably use touch's Lucio with Red Knight and even the McCree, just to slightly touch point and do what you were saying with that split. Composition. But yeah, I think that was just better teamwork overall coming up from Rio and better idea of what to play based on the map geometry. So
yes, I really wanted to. I personally really like the Rhine Sigma split comp. It's one of my favorite comps because I obviously I like Sigma a lot as an off tank. And what I wanted to see was the Sigma kind of set up on the left side towards the bridge to take a spam angle with maybe a Hanzo and maybe a Brig instead of a Lucio, or the Lucio with them, so that he can just peel whenever he needs to, and then just kind of get the Rhine into the front line with a main body of the Kree and the Baptiste.
Or all right, it looks so. Yeah, I do agree. Fortune Sons could definitely play that differently. Looks like we're gonna have Hollywood be our hybrid map here. Really interesting map. Kind of all over the place. You can play a variety of things. High ground is a factor. So a lot of Diva probably is going to be the Diva, Winston, or even a Wrecking Ball, just to make sure you can contest that high ground. Is going to probably be the aim of the game here. Snipers work pretty well in the first two section, but once we get to that third section, it's going to probably devolve into a brawl v brawl. If I had to hazard a guess, because that's going to be where they're going to be at the most advantageous position. We'll just have to see what they're comfortable at. It is looking like Fortunate Sons is kind of favoring. No, Rio's really liking this brawl composition. That's what they were mostly playing. While as Fortunate Sons was kind of leaning into that pick-based composition. So we'll have to see what happens here.
Most certainly will. Looks like Gerozone is getting put in here. for who was that? I believe it was Polar. Polar being the
Polar.
sim players, so it looks like not a lot of sim going to be played, I don't think, on this next map. I also happen to have the pleasure of coaching Zone, and I know that he's a very fun character to play with and especially coach. Definitely good at a few heroes. Some other ones he's shaky at, in my personal opinion. However, he's definitely a very solid player overall.
I do agree. I know Zone is insane as a flex support. I do feel like Polar was leaning a little bit more into that hit scan role.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking maybe they want to kind of go something similar to more flexible. I don't know about Zone's overall hero pool yet. Obviously, I think if I remember correctly, he is good with those hit scans as well. I just feel like they're rotating hit scans based on map right now. Because I think maybe Polar just has that extra, like he can play some extra flex DPS. Because that's why he was in for the sim. So I feel maybe they're just making this decision because Zone's hero pools line up better with Hollywood. I would think it's either going to be McCree Tracer, maybe one of those two DPS is probably going to be what the hit scan is playing. I think maybe we'll have to see, but I know RQT is going to be that flex. I would not be surprised to see the RQT Pharah, by the way, because that is terrifying. And as someone who's played against the RQT Pharah, it's not fun. I will say that, and I bet, and Pharah can work with his map geometry, or even the Echo might even make an appearance here. So we'll just. I keep saying the phrase "we'll have to see," but we'll truly have to see because I honestly have no idea what's about to come out from either of these teams.
Yeah, understandable. From my past experience, I remember Jerry being very proficient in his Genji Tracer, so we'll have to see. You're making me say now. His Genji and Tracer are usually up to par from what I've last seen. I don't really know. I didn't scout a lot of Pugs and Novice since I'm in intermediate.
I got rolled by his Genji on many of occasions, so I do know he really enjoys playing that pick. I don't know if it's going to come out here. It might.
He
all
might
right.
be on the Echo, honestly.
Echo might honestly be the hero.
Torbjorn!
Oh god,
Jerry
yeah, Torbjorn. We got Torbjorn May. We have the old Clockwork Vendetta DPS line of May Torb with the D.Va Orisa.
All right,
That's interesting.
Yeah, a little bit of context for this comp. It's a really heavy project comp that's for Contenders and Owl recently. Contenders more so because their coaches are let's just say subpar. And they mostly copy a lot of Owl strats. So since Owl still had those Brine bands and the really important DPS bands for what was meta, they tried going more towards the Orisa D.Va hybrid-ish type comp. I really am excited to see how they play this because it's a really difficult comp to execute.
Well, we do have a Tracer Echo on the other side, and the Echo will have a Mercy Pocket. The only issue I see here, actually, no, the only issue is this Torb turret is going to put a lot of pressure onto this Echo. Thank goodness he has a Mercy Pocket, but I don't know how well the dive's going to play out here. Oh, it's double bubble. I'm an idiot. That's how they're going to be able to engage.
I thought I saw a D.Va as well.
Yeah, actually, he might have just switched. Did he just switch? He might have switched.
Maybe. While coming out, a lot of spam damage coming out. Both tank abilities coming out really easily. T for 2 getting the pick onto the turret, so that's a little bit helpful for at least a cooldown advantage standpoint. But they are playing so stacked right now. Maywell coming out, so if Red Knight wants to get in here, he honestly can't. So they're just doing a really good job of taking time. Oh, are they? Oh, yeah.
Octo has Nano, and also Tifa has the dupe.
Jerry gets the pick on the T for 2 though. Free Res coming out. Maywell coming out as well.
Yeah. Also, there is a McCree switch. Just for
finally coming in.
Oh, what an anti-nade!
Oh my goodness. Nano comes out on the monkey. We'll see what he can do with it with a little bit of cleave. He already has ult on the very first initiation of the fight. Multiple picks going the way of Fortunate Sons. This definitely looking like more of the map type for Fortunate Sons. To be fair, though, this is another situation of comp diff. I honestly think that comp that Rio Redemption runs is just god awful.
Yeah, especially with Reinhardt and like just like the Tracer and yeah, I do agree that the Diva Orisa is not the composition. Right, Duplicate comes out here though.
Early
Oh
pick
my
coming
god,
in from
Octo!
Jerry when he was trying to go onto the elevator. A lot of early action here as Horse struggles to get back fast. Stabilization desperately needed here from Rio Redemption.
I will say though, the cart is not moving right now. They have like left the cart alone,
Ooh,
and
Octo got
Octo
spit.
dies. But I will say Octo has kind of been the playmaker in all of these engages. He
So
got
far,
the
very
anti.
much
Oh
so.
my god, look at that anti nade
Maybe
again from Octo.
Blizzard comes in, gets the Zarya frozen. I am currently lagging no ends. Oh, I don't even know how to. I'm just gonna say Sin. Sin gets the pick on a Maverick. Not a lot really going for Fortunate Sons here. They obviously had to back up to push the payload and give a lot of space up, especially with their damage dealer down T4 2 getting a pick onto RQT, which is actually
That is a huge
really good.
pick.
Hold on.
Yeah, no, that allows them to stay in this fight. I will say that the Diva is the mech right now, so there is a lot of free reign right now for this Echo, but except for this Torbjorn turret.
Maybe we'll see a Diva sit. Maybe we will. A few ults coming out here. High Noon comes out from Joe Racer, gets the pick onto Sin. Really good entry frag with the High Noon. Honestly, not a high value ult, but it managed to get a pick. Orisa now getting forced out. Octo getting the nade. Again, Octo looking. Oh, I put it with the front. Love to see it. Looks like the
Yeah,
fight
you
is
love to see it.
going the
I'm
way.
just saying right now, the DPS ultimates. Oh wait, actually, is Fort? No, okay. So the DPS ultimates are really not helping them right now. They're trying to bait in. Not them. I meant Rio. It's really not. Both their ultimates really are. They're trying to bait the dive in from Red Knight. And right now they're getting zero value. Primal comes out.
Grav coming out as well, trying to see if they can spawn camp. They have to stay on payload though to make sure that they get it towards the checkpoint. Horse might be able to get a touch here, but she's just too slow. T4 2 getting the 2K onto Rio as well. This is Jerry like legitimately at 43% for his ult, or has he used it before?
No, he has used it before. He used
Okay.
it up on the high ground because he thought Red Knight was hard engaging, but but in the end, Red Knight just backed up and they killed everyone else around the Molten Core. So like as I was saying, I agree with the switch here. The May Reap just to stop this monkey from getting value. I will say though, Octo is just building up these nanos insanely fast, and also he has been like one of the main key factors of opening space on the side of Fortunate Sons.
Another dive coming in here from Red Knight with the engage in the bubble. Nothing from the bomb. RQT is in heavy. Maverick gets the pick onto it. Echo ult coming on. Sam gets the pick onto Red Knight. However, there is still another main take. Another huge anti from Octo. High Noon coming out to try to secure the fight. Lucio falls very low. Supercharger coming out from the copied horse. Might be able to find more kills with it. Oh, such a broken ability. Maverick popping off this map. Honestly, just really good play from Fortunate Sons right now. The stall picks are coming out for Rio Redemption. I honestly just don't think it's enough right now. Ryan pinning back the point. It's only the Baptista and the Reinhardt right now. Another anti comes out from Octo, and Fortunate Sons just roll this attack on Hollywood.
Yeah, I think it's just compositional difference overall. I think Red Knight is just getting so much value because he's getting pocketed from the Ana, and I just think their overall composition, the Echo's poking, Red Knight's getting in, even though that they have a May, the bubble is just keeping him safe, and he's not hard engaging. The only time he died because he accidentally missed a jump up to the high ground, and he just bounced off and fell back to the team. But overall, Red Knight is just building up so much space because he has the bubble, and then the Echo is just having kind of free reign because the Diva is so concerned with keeping his team alive. So right now, that was just complete compositional difference overall. I do not think the strategy from Rio was really sound for defense there. And we're going to see a double bubble pharmacy come out here on the defense for Fortunate Sons. That's actually interesting. I haven't seen a lot of Pharah on. Honestly, like, so Echo has like an amazing ultimate right now, an ultimate charge. Pharah kind of has been on the back foot, but at this elo especially, you can expect Pharah a little bit more, just because the aim isn't as perfect as up in the higher ranks. So, and I do think Pharah gets a ton of value here. We'll have to see though. It looks like they're running dive with this Ashe. This is an interesting compositional difference. I do like the McCree though for a little bit more defense, like for the Ana.
especially for the stun as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Not a lot of flexibility shown from TIE Fighter right now. I think all we've seen so far from TIE has been the D.Va on whatever comp they've run, whether it be like a Monkey or the Orisa or a Reinhardt. So honestly, not really seeing a lot of flexibility from them currently. So we'll see how that goes throughout the series. Right now, kind of looking like a detriment, especially if they force to play the Orisa D.Va again for some godforsaken reason.
There's
Just-
an Echo Mercy duel and a Pharmacy duel happening in the alleyway right now. That is currently the main attraction. It does look like both teams just poking. Here comes the dive, though.
Backline. I honestly don't think that's going to be enough with just the two of them, though. The Echo is still being zoned hard. However, Sin gets the pick onto T for 2. Looking like a good start to the fight for Rio Redemption. Yes, Rio Redemption. However, Octo gets the pick onto RQT. Red Eye falls dangerously low, but gets out alive. Somehow, Joe Razor getting another pick onto Jerry. Picks going both ways right now. It could be anyone's game. Red Knight getting the jump onto point, trying to use as many abilities as he can. Looks like this is winnable for Rio Redemption. T for 2 getting a pick on the Sin though. High Noon also coming out, see if he can get anything with it. TIE Fighter gets D-Mech before they can do anything, still in High Noon. RQT gets the pick on the T for 2. Fortunate Stun's still in this fight right now. A lot of picks going onto the way of Rio Redemption though. And maybe they'll be able to finish this fight out. Maverick using the grab, which is honestly kind of an upset.
That grab was... They were holding in that fight pretty well, but in the end, it was just... I think just a spawn advantage overall just kind of overcame the team there. But I will say that Maverick throwing in the grab, that they had to use Nano to build. Oh my god, what a pick. What a stickies right there from RQT.
It's damage boosted Echo right there for you.
I do think this is where the Echo starts to get a little bit more value.
As you
Oh,
say that.
as I say that,
my
see
teeth
that
for-
pineapple falls down to the Pharah. Oh man, this is...
Red Knight looking for the picks here, getting a little bit of a glide on top of the entryway. D.Va copy comes through, looking for a stabilization play here. RQT might be able to find the bomb or two. As the Deep in the Matrix, not a lot going on right now though. Red Knight playing this very well, playing his space, not hard diving, getting a lot of stuff done. Bubble comes out, doesn't get anything for the bomb. Second bomb comes in, might be able to find one or two. Octo's literally just sitting there. Might find the sleep on the monkey, does not. Octo's very dangerous position right now, actually. Gets hard dive, not enough healing from the Mercy. Gordo gets picked on the Octo. Oh, the barrage comes out. Tai just flies right into the face of the Pharah and gets... Do they get T-Max? They do get T-Max, however they did kill T, but T gets rezzed up right away. Maverick getting the pick on the TIE Fighter, and it looks like this is just going to be another not so clean fight for Fortunate Sons, but it's definitely a one fight so far.
Hey, well, Jerry finally gets a little bit of value out of this Ashe. He hasn't really been doing much, I think. I don't know what he was on initially, but I just felt like he hasn't been doing that much value, and that was a nice pick there at the end. That was just this is just going back and forth, to be honest. I can't really get that much clean analysis out of this.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these fights have been really messy, really scrappy, but that's kind of what I like. It's not even this elo, it's more so just these comps, because like a lot of stuff can be happening all at once. You never really know what to look at. Like right now, Red Knight is the center of attention, just gets blown up. Bob is the center of attention, he just kind of leaves. Now we have the remaining backline of Fortunate Sons, and looks like Maverick trying to stall point for as long as they possibly can. Jerry gets to pick onto T for 2, which is really good start for Rio Redemption to try to finish out this point. Maverick is still alive on point, by the way. Almost has a bump. How is Maverick still alive? Please D-Mech him. Thank you. Just get another ult for free. Hold on. Watch this sit. That's going to be funny. Never mind. RQT gets the stun and the shot onto Maverick. Joe Razor getting another follow-up, but the fight is still going on. Joe Razor capitalizing, finding two. However, they might C9 who's gonna point. Red Knight gets woken up by somebody. I don't know who, but they're gonna get yelled at in VOD review. Red Knight gets onto the point just in time to stall DPS, finding a lot of picks for Fortunate Sons right now.
Please, someone say poor Octo. He was just getting juggled on top of the Mega Health Pack, and no one was helping him. I think overall, it was again the spotter advantage really kind of turned that around. Also, Joe Razor took a perfect flank, took out two. Red Knight helped out, cleaned up kills, and in the end, I do agree there was a near C9. I thought someone was touching. It was looking like if Red Knight hadn't touched, there was someone on the standby, but it was almost a C9. I do agree. Ult-wise, though, there's only a Barrage High Noon, and it's only on the side of Fortune Suns. There's no ultimates. They're going to be close to the Nano. There's about to be Nano and Bomb, to be fair.
Counter engage coming out. Maverick gets an early pick. T4 getting another pick onto Gordo. Wow, really clean fight here from Fortunate Sons. Actually, clean engage, clean picks, etc., etc. RQT might be caught out here. Actually, T4 is the one that gets caught out. Touch, falling dangerously low. It would get out, however.
I will say that now that Fortune Suns is kind of able to stabilize, they do look a lot more calm and collected. I think Rio was kind of thriving a lot more in that chaotic fight. What an anti-nade!
Into the Nano Monkey. Octo's literally one health. Gets the Mercy Fog and onto it. A lot of ults being traded back and forth. Another huge anti coming out from Octo. Tai gets a kill onto Joe. Respawn comes in. D.Va bombs come out. Not a lot going either way. A huge RQT bomb. What a broken ability that Echo has. Gordo getting another pick on a Maverick, and then now Pineapple just following it up, getting the exit frags, winning the team fight through broken abilities.
Yeah, but they have half the time bank currently, so they're gonna be hard pressed to finish this with any sort of time. Oh, but they get a pick on the. It's gonna be huge.
Might be able to
I
get
will.
the ult, though.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's not. We're gonna only have Primal here. They did use a lot of Primal and High Noon, right? They will have an ult advantage because there's nothing really coming up on the side of Fortunate Sons. Touch goes over to the Brigitte here. That's an it's an interesting decision. They do stop the dive. However, oh god, what a sleep for a little bit on the active. But someone will come up again. Someone will get yelled at in VOD review there.
RQT getting the pick on a Red Knight, catching him out in the open. Not very good for Fortunate Sons right now. More people getting out in VOD review. TIE Fighter gets the kill on the Octo as Octo lands to sleep onto the Primal Monkey. However, it does get woken up. We'll see if a late stabilization can come in here. Jerry gets the pick on a Joe on the hit scan with McCree right now. Not a lot looking hope for Fortunate Sons. Might be able to get the pick here. It's going to be left to the D.Va. D.Va gets an ult onto the point. No more touches, however. Ults were used.
What's critical? What's critical there? Maverick flew across the sky to try to get a touch, but he fell on the point, and I think he got flashbang right-clicked by a McCree. I'm pretty sure.
It was,
he just got.
It was High Noon. As soon as they sent the bomb out, Maverick sent the bomb into the air, and the High Noon still tracked the baby D.Va.
And because of that, he wasn't able to touch, and that kind of cost him the fight overall. But still, look at this time bank difference. It's gonna be a minute versus 3 minutes 15 seconds on the side of Fortunate Sons. So we'll have to see if Fortunate Sons can hold a little better. They did hold pretty well the first time. And it is looking like in a lot more of these calmer fights, Fortune Sons has an advantage. But if they get staggered out, they really get Rio seems to be able to capitalize on the chaos and get a lot more picks. We're gonna see a Torb Echo on defense here.
I like it a lot.
I like the idea. Let's put a little bit more pressure onto RQT, who I will. Oh, there's a pause. Getting called out. All right.
Every time.
Every time. It does look. I think it's Octo. Octo apparently is in the bathroom. So Eagle. Yep. No wait. It does look like we might be coming back because Eagle is. Oh well. Okay, we're coming back to casters. I guess because everyone has decided to go to the bathroom in overtime.
5-minute bio break, boys. It's scrim time.
In the middle of a round. So I like the idea of the Torbjorn. It puts extra pressure on the RQT, which I do think RQT has really kind of been the difference maker in a lot of these fights. He's been getting a lot of the picks. It's kind of just going back and forth. To be honest, I'm getting lost. As the phrase says, lost in the sauce. I have no idea kind of what's going on in the fight. I don't know who's gonna win or who's gonna lose a lot of the time. But that's just because these compositions are all across the map. Things are happening. There's an Echo taking a duel on one end. There's the main tank line diving. There's the sport line running away from the incoming enemy dive. It is just pure chaos. And a Torbjorn's getting thrown in the mix just to make it even more chaotic. So
indeed, it is.
It looks
like
like we're ready. Yeah.
Users are ready, so we're going to be getting sent back into the game here. Octo only has 12 seconds to get back to point, so we'll see if they manage to get to point set up on time.
Looks like he's gonna go Ana. He does have a little bit of time because it does take them a little bit to get out of spawn, but we'll have to see. He's gonna be it's gonna be close. I think he's gonna get there in time. To at least be. Yeah, he's there. All right, but the Torb is interesting here over the McCree.
Honestly, a lot more space control. I'm surprised, honestly, that it's not being placed in the bush.
What a pick by Red.
Really early pick on a Jeroza. Rio not really able to find the follow-up.
What was Tifa doing? Tifa just walked into the mid. Tifa slowly floated into their 6-stack. So that's what happened there.
Jerry getting a pick on a Joe Riz is trying to get res right now. It does get res. Oh my god. Okay. So right now it's just being trades going on in the backline for both teams. Seeing what each team can do. Honestly, really well executed from Rio. They had a game plan, which was literally just kind of go for a push. They kind of got lucky since they had the Mercy res on top to make sure that Jerry stayed alive. However, they had a very clear intent that they were willing to trade out backlines for whatever value they needed.
Yeah, and also I will say that Tifa kind of threw that entire fight by just slowly floating into that 6-stack in the alley. That kind of is what really snowballed it. And then Joe somehow died. And also we'll see a switch here onto the McCree. Basically a mirror composition except for the Zarya now. I will say though that Rio might have a little bit more of the higher tempo here because they're able to engage basically with more members than what Fortunate will be able to do.
All we can hope for right now is a not C9 from Rio Redemption. Not a lot of high ground capability, honestly, or full dive to be coming out from Rio Redemption. The engage comes out from T4-2, finds the pick on the Ana. That's actually huge. TIE Fighter gets the pick onto right now. However, Gordo getting another pick on a T4-2 with the res coming out for Rio. Not a lot, honestly, to stop the rest of Rio right now. Maverick, really high energy in the backline. RQT initiating with that dupe, which gets a lot of value actually. It kills Joe Razor. Morals coming out just to make sure that they keep space. Wow, that juggle was really nice actually. Kept Octo from leaving.
That's gonna keep them staggered. Not gonna be able to let them recontest this point. That was huge.
Recontest does come out. Red Knight gets, he gets antied. That's a lot of damage.
I think Fortune's Suns are just committing too many ultimates right now. I think they need to just reset. Why are you graphing?
They might honestly be able to get something out of it. T4-2 gets a pick on a Jero Zone. This might be stabilizable. Joe Racer gets another pick on the Mercy. Diva Bomb comes out, and then C9, however. But this fight is honestly still winnable. Joe Racer getting another pick on a TIE Fighter. Joe Racer really standing out right now. RQT gets the pick on the Joe Racer. They're kind of in his reign of terror. Commits coming out, though, still from Fortune. Red Knight finding 2. Oh, comes out. Oh, he's caught in the air. Red Knight gets killed. Wow. Yeah. I think that they honestly just wanted to try to end it right there and then, but they could have.
I just think it was a little bit of an overcommitment in the end. Like, I understand trying to win the fight there and then, but if they had saved look how many ultimates they kind of just chucked into it, and that ended up not being fruitful. They were already in a stagger fight. Like, half the team hadn't even respawned when the grab went out, and like, it was only 3 of them at a time on point, and now they have a duplicate coming out here, and there's now a wrecking ball.
Hard dive comes in, big anti coming out from Octo though. A lot of different compositional changes from Fortunate Sons to see if they can find anything. TIE Fighter getting the early pick onto Red Knight in this fight. Gordo with another ultimate. Oh, Joe Razor can't find anything with his high noon. Kind of held my breath there for a second to see if he could. Looks like Rio might just be able to push this all the way.
Yeah, it looks like it. I do think Rio just is looking a lot more coordinated right now than Fortunate Sons. I won't lie. Fortunate Sons have an idea of doing the soft dives with Red Knight and the bubbles, but you can't really do that on the defense because if you do that, you leave yourself vulnerable to the counter dive, and that just kept on happening again and again and again. Red Knight was getting picked a lot at the start of these engages. I will say, yeah, and it seems that Fortune Sons wants to play a lot slower tempo, but Rio's really good at bringing that tempo back up, and because of that, they're really like turning these fights pretty quickly.
So right now, for me, I agree with literally everything you say. I also see a little bit of the it's not even a DPS differential, it's just a matter of the DPS finding the good off angles and like finding picks. Like on the very first fight of first point, I think Jerry got rezzed after getting capitalized by Red Knight on the off angle. But Jerry got rezzed, he followed up on the dive and got a matter of like I think it was two or three picks in the first fight, then RQT also helped follow up. So right now it's I don't know if it's comfortability or just being able to find like the really good off angles, but
Yeah.
Rio is just doing a really good job of what they.
Yeah, RQT does look at home on this Echo, and I think you're right that TIE Fighter probably is a little bit more heavy into the Diva, but I do think Diva actually has an advantage a little bit over the Zarya composition, at least on the attack. We'll have to see when they defend here, because on the initial defense, remember, their defense did kind of crumble, so we'll have to see. Maybe the momentum has shifted, though. And maybe they have a game plan set up, because it looks like they are playing extremely good. What a pick onto the Mercy! Oh, yeah, now RQT has been nailing these sticky bombs onto these lone targets. I think Touch has died actually a couple of times from these sticky bombs, and it's been RQT is actually one of the best echoes I know. So he's just but he's getting an Uno reverse card right there onto the Mercy. And that's actually a little bit more critical because of the spawn advantage here. But this is sweep onto Joe Razor in the back line.
Goodness. Hopefully, freaking production got. Wow, another huge sleep coming out though. Wow, sleeps and picks coming up from both teams. We'll see what they can do to capitalize here.
He's hit for tat right now.
Literally, TIE Fighter using his just early to see if they can capitalize on Red Knight. TIE Fighter does fall out of mech. Bubble gets burned almost instantly. Joe Racer finding the pick on a TIE Fighter. Engage coming in here pretty hard from Fortunate Sons. Maybe get a last second stall here from Rio, which they do with the monkey. Gets naded instantly, however. Octo in a little bit of trouble, but they do get pocketed by Touch. Val comes out. Honestly, a really good commit here. All numbers coming back from... Yeah, numbers coming back from Rio, however. Ult's being used, Anti's being thrown. Nano also being used. Renai gets the pick on the RQT. Maverick with the Nano here, see what you can do with it. Tifa2 getting another, the final blow on the TIE Fighter. Nade coming out, getting the killing blow on Gordo. Oh, that's really bad. RQT gets rezzed as the fight's over. Oh, that's such a bad stagger.
Yeah. I actually kind of like how Fortunate Sons play. They play that a lot slower. Even though Joe died, and even though they got an early pick, they kind of played it a lot more patiently, waiting for RQT to engage, and Octo nail the perfect sleep, and that's kind of what really snowballed that fight overall. Joe Razor, and because Joe Razor could get back a lot quicker than RQT, and here we go, Primal engage.
Double monkey, quadruple monkey actually, excuse me. McCreel coming out, but gets blocked by both monkey bubbles. RQT monkey coming in. Joe Razor uses the pulse bomb to see if they can get any frags out of it. T4-2 in the primal currently. Solo grabs RQT. BM question mark. Fortunate Sons looking for the high ground advantage. However, not really getting a lot out of it currently. TIE Fighter falling dangerously low. Joe Razor gets the pick onto Mercy, which is actually huge. TIE Fighter sends in the bomb. Doesn't get any kills, however. Gordo getting a pick onto the backline, though. A lot of picks coming out for Rio Redemption right now. Really important ones, too. These staggers coming through are crazy. Okay, is this just me, or is Gordo literally farming an ult every fight?
I do agree. Gordo is kind of insane. I think that was actually, in the end that was tank line, just because Maverick was kind of isolated. He was forced to solo grab the Echo instead of being solo grabbing more people. And in the end, I really think it was more compositional there. I think that Diva Winston really allowed them to go a lot more aggressive overall. And it already looks like Rio might break this, knock on wood. Rio might actually break the curse and actually win a game for the first time in nearly like I think it's been years since they last won. But I will say, Joe Razor is looking like a highlight here on the side of Fortunate Sons. He has been getting a consistent amount of picks. Also Octo. And overall, I just think Rio is playing a lot more coordinated, and they look like they're able to turn fights even when they go down people. Because it was looking pretty grim for them on that, I guess the streets phase, like in the, I guess it's saloon phase, like the point B phase on Hollywood, they looked like
Second
they were
point.
losing the initial fight because of the pressure that not Joe Razor, T for 2 was putting in with the Echo. And because I just heard the other stream really loud in my ear. That was fun. Um,
Production Omega lol.
um, but nevertheless, it looks like Rio has their game plan together, and I will say that Gordo, I do think their overall team is playing a lot tighter. But I do think there's a couple of standout members on Fortunate Sons as well. Octo has been performing really well. Maverick is always consistent, and I do think Joe Razor is getting decent amount of value. It seems all 6 members of Rio are really on point right now. I'm not seeing a clear weakness, but I'm seeing Red Knight is playing a little bit too aggressive. T for 2 is getting picked a lot. I will say the floating in the 6 stack is kind of in my head. It just seems that it seems like all 6 members are not performing. I think there are members of Fortune Sons that are performing really well. I think all 6 are performing really well for Rio right now.
Yeah, it's like you were saying. I think that right now, as a team, I think that Rio is just playing exceptionally well, especially for their past history of going winless. And like you were saying as well, there were definitely a few standout players for that last map. And for me personally, it was Razor and Octa. I saw a lot of good plays from Razor, a lot of good picks on the offense. Definitely stuff that I like to see from DPS players, but Octo really carried that first round. If I'm going to be completely honest, they landed
Yeah,
the fattest antes I think I've seen in a League Zero match before. Like
there was like
5,
3,
6 man
4.
antes.
There was 3, 4, or 5 man antes back to back. It
Yeah,
was but it looks like there might be a substitution coming in here. They're putting in Intensu. Ooh, this is going to be interesting. This is going to change things up a little bit. I know Intensu is a really good player.
enlighten me a little bit on Intensu.
I know so T for 2 is pretty good flex support, but I know Intensu. Let's just say he was rolling people on Genji and Echo.
Okay.
When in the Pugs, that's why he got picked up by Fortune Sons. He's a really good DPS player. I'm a little surprised he hasn't come in yet. Maybe their initial game plan was just to keep Tifa in, maybe for synergy. But you never know. Maybe sometimes bringing in a brand new member of a team can turn a game around immediately. Also, they might be that intense. I don't think Intensu was here this entire time, so maybe he couldn't make the start of the game, and maybe they're bringing him in now. Might have that suspicious feeling, and this might get interesting.
Possibly. This is going to be. It's first to 3, right? Yeah, it is first to 3.
It
This
is
is
first to
going to
3.
be map point here for Rio Redemption. So honestly, a little bit of a comeback is going to be needed for Fortunate Sons. I wholeheartedly believe I've seen a lot of good play so far from Fortunate Son. A lot of good play from Rio Redemption and being able to close out both maps. So Fortunate Sons. I honestly don't really think that they need to step it up per se. I think that they need to finish it out more so.
Yeah. Looks like TIE Fighter has left the lobby, which that might delay us for a little bit. Depends.
Restart is
Maybe.
what we're saying.
Yeah, but let's get into the map here. We're going over Rialto. So Rialto is a lot more of a linear map than some other maps. There's not a lot of open space to operate, and a lot of brawl compositions can work here. But also, I know there are angles for snipers to work, especially on the first point. But as the round moves into the second and third phases, it really just kind of devolves into a brawl
Yep.
dominant map. And that's kind of what I'm expecting here. I'm expecting probably a brawl at least coming out from Fortunate Sons. I do know that Red Knight is really confident in his Reinhardt and Winston, but his Reinhardt is probably his better hero. Even though so we'll have to see. TIE Fighter seems to be having some issues. He's trying to join the lobby right now.
invites are being sent and rejected from TIE Fighter.
Yeah.
Not a lot you can really do right now.
Yeah.
But
I
for the
will
map-
say that there is a player missing on Rio that I'm surprised hasn't played it. It's Juicebox. Juicebox is
that thing before.
another.
Off
Juicebox is an off tank
Yep, that's right.
that I know because TIE Fighter didn't play on a lot of pugs, but Juicebox was basically in every single pug, and I know that that's why he was picked up before TIE Fighter. And I think there might be a situation going on there. That's just my hypothesis, though. So that's just gossip right there. I don't even know. It looks like TIE Fighter is in the game, and it looks like we're gonna be able to get this thing started any moment. I just kind of wanted to see if the substitution, if Intensu can come in and make a difference here, and hopefully in turn Fortunate Son's fortunes around. Hey, see what I did there?
Okay, dude.
Anyways, we'll have to see what happens here. Octo is also. I just realized maybe that restaurant break that Octo caused might have been against Fortunate Sons because it kind of iced them a little bit.
It was a detriment to their
Yep.
map, man.
Yep. Because they had a better time bank and everything, but I just think it gave Rio a little bit more time to strategize. Actually, that might have been a factor in that last map.
Maybe somebody from Rio gave Octo a little bit too much hydration for today.
He someone sent him like a 16 pack of Gatorade and told him to drink it before the match, and it would improve his aim or something.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Exactly.
Because
like
you see his
gamer
aim,
feeling,
because his aim has been on point this entire match. If you notice, so
This is true, especially his nades. I'm still not going to get over Octo's nades today. They're so good so far.
So it looks like they're gonna lean into the double bubble again. With this, it's basically the same composition they were running on Hollywood, but it looked like a brawl defense coming out from the side of Rio. I do think this has to do with TIE Fighter. I do agree. TIE Fighter does look like he might just be comfortable on this diva, and that's all he's playing. Like maybe he's a diva specialist, and I think that's just going to be a composition. The Hanzo as well, just for additional poke. I do think. Oh, RQT goes low though to those sticky bombs.
Oof, yep, indeed RQT does. I haven't really seen a lot of RQT on the Hanzo, and it comes out. Seeing if it catches anybody, it really doesn't catch that many people. A lot of spam damage can be coming out from RQT already as he gets. Oh my gosh, that's such a fast ultimate from RQT. Already 54% to it. Still counting as well. High ground control kind of still being in favor of Rio Redemption. Still just kind of staying on top, seeing what they can do. Run hard on point, trying to pressure out whoever they can that is on the point right now. Looking for a rotation. A split really hard here so far. Polar getting picked. I just realized that they put Polar in as well. Octo getting the pick, the nade, and the sleep onto multiple people here. See if they can get the follow-up kill onto RPT, which they do. Maverick does have to drop for it. However, another nade coming out. These Anas, man. I don't know what it is today, but Anas are just going in. And Tetsu gets the pick onto Senile Pineapple, and the damage comes through for Fortunate Sons, looking very nice so far. And Tetsu definitely having a major impact on that first fight.
Yeah. I think the main difference was that Rio engaged into the backline of Fortune Sons, and while Fortune Sons' backline kited back, Ana and Winston went on a little bit of a journey. It's just kind of rolled it.
Monkey just got pinned straight onto the point as the dragons come out. Point control is being taken back for Rio. RQT getting the pick on Intensu really early on. Pulse bomb coming out. RQT getting another pick on a Joe Razor, taking out both DPS for right now. Huge nade coming in from Octo, however, both tanks falling dangerously low. Mercy Touch gets the pick on the Gordo, just forces the Glock down their throat right now on the Valkyrie Mercy. We'll see if it's enough to sustain. However, RQT getting another pick on the Touch. What is this man on right now? Monkey in the backline on Senile Pineapple, however, Immort is too strong currently. Rock comes out for the commit. Beat, however, to counteract it. Nade on it again. RQT just getting so many picks this fight. Gets the pick on the Octo. Oh, a huge slam coming out. Just nothing to defend with there. Oh,
I think that was a little bit of a misplay with Red Knight. I don't know if you saw it, but he went deep. He was around the corner.
Real deep on the Senile
He was trying to
Pineapple.
juggle Polar out of the fight, but in the end, he just kind of got shut down
Pineapple.
because he went too far. And I think it's just an overcommitment coming out from the side of Fortunate Sons to try to win that fight. I think once you lose Red Knight and once Red Knight goes too deep, you lost like 3 and Maverick throwing the grab. I think Maverick has just been a little bit too over ambitious here with these grabs. He did force a beat out at least, but on the same side, Rio has a massive ult advantage, even though Intensu does have the duplicate and Octo near his nano.
RQT here already with another dragon, and Tetsu coming in with his ult really early, gets the 2 picks. Polar getting another pick, stabilization pick on the Joe Razor, however, and Tetsu's literally just in there right now. Maverick getting the follow-ups onto whatever, and Tetsu literally just swings on. 60 seconds remaining currently for Fortunate Sons, however, they are going to be able to cap the second point. And
so I mentioned that their only ultimate they had was duplicate. Intensu managed to get 4 picks as the duplicated Reinhardt because he also, I think he had a Mercy boost as well. The Mercy was just following him along, boosting him, so he just kind of rolled. And they still have a Nano for a Red Knight engage, and they only have a BAP window on the side. Oh, but the Zarya, the Tracer, is the only one moving hard.
Point is caught out currently. The early drop comes in. Polar's actually so deep right now. Another huge nade from Razor gets to pick on a Polar. Red Knight gets to pick on the C9 Apple. Red Knight with another one on the Gordo, just kind of juggling their backline, doing whatever he wants right now. The sleep does not hit. Oh, Red Knight just being kept alive from Octo right now, and Tetsu getting another pick on that 5.
Yeah, that was a Nano Primal, but also that was a beautiful disengage and also nicely worked out. They sent most of their players to the high ground and only left Tracer. Tracer disengaged as Rio touched the cart, and then they were able to re-dive in thanks to Octo's Nano's, not Nano, anti-nade plus the Nanoing Red Knight. That was a beautifully played by Fortunate Sons.
Very well played from Fortunate Sons. Another nano, or excuse me, another nade trying to come into the backline. Red Knight in a little bit deep right now, especially with his jump out. Gets picked early, and Tetsu and Red Knight both getting picked by the DPS players. Touch gets the pick. Touch gets the res onto a Tetsu. However, Joe Razor getting another pick on a Polar, so we'll see what they can do with that. RQT falling down to about half health here. We'll see if he stays alive. Looks like a stabilization is coming out from Fortunate Sons. Oh, and Tetsu getting the dupe off, but it just gets melted instantly. But a huge nade again from Octo might be able to stabilize. RQT getting the pick on a Joe Razor. Honestly, not a lot really going on here for Fortunate Sons. The self window for Senile Apple to try to stabilize, which is what happens.
Yeah.
Real redemption.
I think really that was, oh my goodness, what a Polar is going really aggressive here.
I honestly really like to see it. Grab comes out, what a yeet, catches Gordo and RQT in it. Counter Slam coming out, catches 3 in the back on RQT, getting the pick on him really easily. Red Knight just kind of juggling as much as they can right now. However, Joe Razor, or sorry, excuse me, Polar gets the pick on a Red Knight. A lot of stabilization picks coming out for Fortunate Sons right now. Might be able to win this. Maverick gets nanoed almost halfway to another grab. It coming out onto the TIE Fighter to see if they can get out of mech whatsoever. Pulse Bomb comes out, and the Diva Bomb to correspond with it finds Tetsu, and Tetsu finds RQT, however, so might be stabilizable. Octo again with another nade onto their backline. Polar just getting picks somehow, just sitting there, and just hitting heads every now and then. Red Knight gets the kill onto the opposing McCree, so now, are they just going to be able to push this? No, they aren't. No, excuse me, Touch isn't going to be able to find the res either onto Red Knight. So now, Maverick again with another, oh, the nade, they might honestly be able to clean this up. Maverick with a 2k, Joe following up on the next anti. Roger's getting a pin on the point. How does the Echo not die there? Oh, pin must have run out or something. This fight is still going on for Rio Redemption right now. Honestly might be stabilizable still, especially since TIE Fighter is on point. However, they do get picked off by Joe Razor. Lucio gets the next touch to try to just whittle down as much time as possible. OT does not hit, however, Fortunate Sons only 130 in the time to push this all the way to the next point.
I won't lie, that was the most chaotic. That's even more chaotic. I would
Than
think
Hollywood.
that yeah, no, I thought that they were with a Brawl v like this chaotic comp, like calm down a little bit, at least for one side. No, it's just all over the place. Red Knight, Joe Razor, and Tenster are constantly in the opponent's backline, and Polar just keeps picking them off. And then, oh god,
many ults being used right now. Polar with the 2k. Hammer down comes in for Tetsu with the dupe. Red Knight in the backline right now with the Primal, trying to see if they can get any value. Joe Razor trying to follow up here, but the picks are going the way of Rio right now. Really big split coming out for Rio, catching a lot of value actually.
the big turning point was a high noon through the window. caught Maverick and Touch in the backline as they engaged, and because of that, they're in a real pickle here because they're down the ultimates, and they just switched the Red Knight onto the Reinhardt and Intensu onto. What a shot by Intensu! Switching to the Hanzo, gets the pick on his mirror on the other side.
Actually just snipes it from years away. The flank shatter coming out in the back line. Oh, the Immort's not far enough. Joe Razor gets pinned by Gordo in the back line. Red Knight shield about to fall. Oh, this could be a huge Diva Bomb. It finds two. Really good ult usage right now from Rio Redemption, and they managed to just hold the point there. Last second comp switch not really working out.
Yeah, it was looking kind of bad actually because RQT got that initial, not RQT, Intensu got that initial pick on the RQT, but because of the flank shatter by Gordo, just completely shut down any hope of winning that fight there for Fortunate Sons. So like Fortunate Sons looks pretty good, but Rio just pulls out a lot of stuff just to turn fights around or keep them in the fight. They killed a lot of time off the clock. That's the big thing. They were losing fights, but they were killing so much time, especially on the end of point B. That was like a solid 1 or 2 minute long fight that they eventually lost, but it killed so much time off the clock and built up so many ultimates that Fortunate Sons were just on the back foot.
Yeah, I agree completely. Honestly, in maps like these, with like whether it's Dorado, whether it's Route 66, whether it's Rialto, obviously, a lot of effort goes into just stalling for time, which is exactly what Rio Redemption did. They managed to hold a little bit less than halfway, I think, to third point, which is really well done. And that's what you want to see from a team, honestly. As long as they don't cap third and they don't get the extra shot to attack, I honestly think that all is well.
Yeah. Yep, we'll have a double sniper coming out here from the from Fortunate Sons with a Sigma. We'll see if they'll do the split angles like we want them to do. We'll still have the full dive with the Echo, but we'll have an Ashe coming out from Polar. So the Echo's gonna have a lot of pressure from this Ashe, but the Hanzo can't really duel him, so the Hanzo's just gonna be focused on putting pressure onto the Winston when he engages.
Wow,
Also,
what I'm looking at right now, Fortunate Sons is giving up a lot of space for positioning, it looks like.
I mean, their composition is a lot more stronger once they get around this blue corner here. So I like the idea. I do think they're giving up a little bit too much space. I think the Reinhardt should probably be playing down on the corner because that cart should not be getting around that corner for free.
So I honestly think that the game plan right now is to try to keep them in open space, but if they just dive up there on top of them like that, there won't be a lot done. However, I stand corrected. Red Knight gets the opening pick on the RQT, and following picks just come up from Joe Razor and Intensu. Honestly,
yeah.
Really well played. I think that's what their game plan was. I think it was to try to get them into open space, force them to dive top, like just kind of set up wherever they need to control.
Because if they were sitting in that open space, they were kind of open targets. They were in a shooting gallery for this Ashe and Hanzo. But when they dove in, they have the deal with a Rein, a Sigma in close range, and a Hanzo Storm Arrow. That just kind of melted them. So really nice play. Soft dive comes out here from Gordo though.
Abilities being used to try to spam out Red Knight's shield currently. Red Knight does get an early drop. Honestly, not a lot of LOS from Red Knight's team right now, so healing is a little bit lackluster. However, the Immort comes out to save Maverick from the nade. Red Knight in a bubble right now. Dragons come out straight on the point. All picks going both ways. However, it looks like Intensu gets 2 instead of the 1, but Rio comes back swinging with 2 picks. Touch going for the res, gets shut down instantly by Polar. Damage boosted Ashe is definitely a threat. Sam gets the res on the Senile Apple. Picks just going in the way of Rio right now. Really well played from Rio. Ults being used to stabilize and just like to clutch out the fight.
Yeah, and that was a crucial pick by Polar to stop that res. That was huge. I also RQT was just sitting in their backline, not being contested whatsoever, and he got a duplicate off on the Sigma. He was by himself, no
RQT.
mercy.
And I love it. Like again, I'm gonna go on a little bit of tangent here, but like there is really good individual play from Rio right now, but like they're just playing so well as a unit and they don't have to rely on a single standout player or like 2 or 3 standout players. But a slam comes in, as I'm saying this from Red Knight, not a lot of capitalization on it. Like Rio is just looking like a solid team right now and like one that they shouldn't be messed with. RQT gets a pick on a Joe Razor already, and Tetsu getting a pick onto Gordo. Bob comes out, so do Dragons, and Tetsu finding more picks. Red Knight getting more picks on the backline as well. I would say that standout player in Tetsu gets a lot of picks.
Yeah, and Maverick's currently dueling the Ashe in a corner here, but oh my, he
Not
dies
gonna
to the
get
baby
killed.
diva! He dies to the baby diva of all things.
Nah, that's not real. I refuse to believe that's real.
Polar into the alley, killed him, turned around, the Mercy was there, pulled out the Glock, shot him a little bit, then melee. No, it wasn't a melee kill. It was just he got shot to death. That is just embarrassing, honestly, as
So
a single
unfortunate.
player. Window comes out early here.
It's dived on really aggro here though. Gordo finding out how much damage it does up close. Polar getting the pick onto the Bonga, or excuse me, the Immortal field. Might try to stabilize here to see if they can do anything. RQT looking for a little bit of an off angle here. Finds the kill on the touch, almost onto RQT. Oh, excuse me. RQT does fall. Sorry. Wrong teams. I'm looking at the wrong screen. Touch falls. So this might be able to stabilize from Rio. Nano comes in to try to get the full engage now. It's just teams are trying to make plays right now. There's like Rio's just trying to make the plays. The Slime comes out, catches one in the backline. Joe Razor popping off on the Ashe right now. Gordo gets the kill on the Red Knight, however, we'll see if he gets more. He does not, however. TIE Fighter getting a little bit of a stabilization pick. This is looking pretty even right now, actually, for Rio Redemption. They're still finding picks onto the backline. Rice comes out. TIE Fighter falls down. They're just still trying to make plays here. The Ryan 1v1 on point. Gets blocked.
What a block.
RQT. What a main tank diff right there from Red Knights. Very well played from him. Gordo trying to find the opposition on the high ground. Looking for picks, looking for space. He does manage to make the space. TIE Fighter is still out of mech here, so we'll see if Fortunate Sons can make a play out of it. Maverick finally taking that off angle like I like. And Tetsu firing Dragons on a point. Bob comes out into the backline, however. Could be very detrimental. Maverick literally in the backline, just sitting on the stairs looking for picks. RQT getting the pick on Octa, which is really unfortunate actually. Big Anti coming out as well. Gordo finding the pick on a Red Knight. Maverick looking for a huge flux, which he does. That might be a really big Diva Bomb though. It does. It finds Maverick. Remake comes in. Picks going in the way of Rio Redemption right now. Fortunate Sons being on the lackluster side of picks. Ball coming out, but it's not going to be fast enough to stall. Honestly, I would just try to get out here, which is exactly what Red Knight does, hopefully. Which they do.
Yeah, but the problem is, look where the golden box of victory is. It's halfway through the point, and that's going to be actually a little bit of a spawn disadvantage for Red, or for Fortune Sons here. So this is not looking good. They're on a ball sing as well. Their entire team just killed.
Really good
killed
focus
Red.
though. I think they might just want to take a reset here. RQT gets res. We'll see if they try to go for another place. You know, Apple falls. Polar gets the pick on the Octa, so it might be winnable. Both healers falling for Fortunate Sons, but the picks are just going for Fortunate Sons just getting the picks right now, and Rio Redemption not really having a lot to stack against it. However, I stand corrected. Polar finding 3. This might be really good stabilization.
There's only a team. There's only Red Knight.
Just standing up, point, looking around. Oh my goodness.
Well,
He won his
it was
1v1.
like it was mutually assured destruction right there. Red Knight, the first one to die, the last one alive, for either side. Now we're gonna have to see how this fight turns out. Dragon comes out and Bob's gonna come out, but there's a duplicate coming out from RQT plus a Nano.
Ooh, RQT falling dangerously low, and they get picked off. Polar gets the counter pick on the Red Knight, however, so they might be able to res this.
Red Knight's going too deep right now. He's
Oh, that's a big Bob to try to stabilize. Nano comes out. Primal comes out as well. So does the Sig dupe. Big plays coming in right now. Polar getting the kill on the Bob, which is actually ginormous. Gordo getting a pick on an Intensu. This might honestly be the map here. That's a huge flux for Rio Redemption. Flux comes out for Maverick, but he gets killed instantly. Rio Redemption getting all the picks that they need and more right now. Ult's coming out. Stabilization coming out. And it looks like Rio Redemption is going to be able to take this series 3-0. First time back in the league, the curse is already lifted.
standout player for me definitely on that map was RQT
Agreed.
and Polar. Actually, I Polar was getting a lot of picks.
Oh yeah.
But also I like that focus fire. As soon as Red went into that Winston, he absolutely not Red. Whenever Red went to the Wrecking Ball, they just melted him every single time they that he tried to engage onto their backline. They all turned around and chased him and killed him, and that was almost perfect. That was perfect coordination. Rio just looked like looks like the best team not the best team, looked like better overall as a team. There were a few
Agreed.
couple of standout members from Fortunate Sons. I liked Octo's play, and Tensu actually was looking pretty good. But I think all 6 members of Rio just were looking solid. So I feel like
Definitely
that's
that.
what really was different. The
Yeah,
difference.
definitely that team cohesion looking a lot better for Rio Redemption, in my opinion. I'm basically just going to enhance on things that you said, but yeah, Rio Redemption, solid team, really good playmaking. Even when they were down, they tried to make plays. They used ultimates. They were loose with it. They didn't really have they didn't have like a specific flow of a fight, if that makes sense. They kind of just did what they needed. They did whatever they wanted, and it honestly just kind of worked. Like they just made shit happen, for lack of better
Yep.
words.
Yeah, and overall, just way better. I think overall the quality of play by Rio definitely increased as the series went on, and I think by the end of it, they were just looking so dominant. Even on the
Agree.
point that got canceled, they nearly won it 99-0, though they were in overtime. So let's not get into that. But it was just looking like a dominant performance by Rio. It's gonna be interesting to see how Fortune Sense comes from this loss. I do think they have the building blocks there. Definitely, I just think they need to work out through a few team coordination issues. I feel like half the team was engaging, half the team was playing too passive.
Mhm.
Sometimes that worked, sometimes it didn't. I think they need to work a little bit better on positioning, but I do think Fortune Sons has the building blocks to be a better team. But today Rio was just way better prepared for this first match.
Yep. Anyway, very well played from both teams. Exciting to see a clean 3-0. However, it was not as it wasn't as it was close, is what I'm trying to say. That's the words I'm looking for. It was very close 3-0 in my personal opinion. Um Again, Fortunate Sons looking to be a decent team so far. I believe that Wisdom Academy was a 3-0 as well. Don't quote me on that, however. But last time I checked it was 2-0, and then after that it was stream over, so maybe. But it looks like Rio's gonna be shaping out to be a really good team this season.
Yeah, and that's exciting for any of the Rio Redemption fans in the crowd. Uh, actually, you'd be surprised how many there are, but just at least it looks like they actually have a team for once that can win matches, as clearly demonstrated by this
Exactly.
match.
Do
And
we want to get an interview, by the way?
sure, I think it's gotta be either RQT or Gordo. Uh,
I think we get RQT in here.
yeah.
Alrighty. So it looks like we're going to be sending it over to an interview real quick. Should be dragging RQT up here any second. All right, but before we get the interview with RQT, we are going to jump into a short break to ensure that everything is all right, and then we are going to be going into the interview. So stay tuned. We will be back in just a second, and everything will be very nice.
in all honesty, we thought it was gonna go to a map 5 because they're really
Alrighty, so
Alright.
here we are again, ladies and gentlemen. Had a little bit of production issues there for a hot second. Joined here with us today, we have Gordo. Gordo, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty crazy, dude. I'm excited now. Hashtag real win. It's a new era.
New era. Oh
New
my
era.
goodness. Alrighty.
Yep.
So to start off, what were your general thoughts about the match?
We honestly expected it to go to maybe a map 5 because I have a really good roster with some really good standout players like Octo and Red Knight. But we had very good preparation every single day. In the back
Yeah.
of my mind, I knew it was going to be a 3-0.
Fair enough, and that kind of leads me to my next question. What kind of preparation did you want to do for this specific game?
We did the standard scrim every day, VOD reviews, AMAs, coaching from Clear in his plane, all of it, the whole 9 yards.
In his godly plane of existence.
Love to
Um,
hear about it. And you kind of hinted on it a little bit, but do you have any individual player standouts from both your side and the opposition for Fortunate Sons?
RQT on Echo, I guess.
mhm. Yeah, he
Uh,
was popping the entire time.
no longer a Reaper
I
one trick,
actually
by
tried
the
that.
way.
No
He's not a
longer.
Reaper one trick. Probably, honestly, I would say their DPS was kind of insane.
Joe.
And
Who was it?
Joe Razor,
Joe Razor and Tetsu and who's the
and
last one?
Tetsu, and
Polar? No, Polar was on
No, it
your
was
off.
T for
no,
two.
Polar's a
T
goat.
for
It was
T for
yeah,
two,
that's
dude.
right.
even though T for two kind of floated into a 6-stack midway through Hollywood. Let's not. Let's.
we don't talk about that though. We don't talk about that.
we don't talk about that.
Anyway, to finish out, any final thoughts about the game and the future games that are coming up?
For future games, I would say expect more of the same. And for this game, please update the tier list now. Please update the tier list. That's all I gotta say.
Fair enough, man. Fair
Because
enough.
Sam Knight, and Senile Apple are rated completely too low. Okay, I want their stock to rise.
Yeah, they were
That's all.
solid. There
That's
was
it.
they were making no mistakes. So that
Invest
was
in
that was
Rio
really nice.
Redemption.
Yep.
Alrighty. Well, thank you for coming, Gordo. I really appreciate it. Congrats on the 3-0.
Thanks, boys.
Anything else to add, Florida?
Not really.
Alrighty, in that case, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thank you all for coming out. Really appreciate the support that League Zero has gotten so far. More broadcasts in the future. My name is Shinsei, and alongside me, Florida. Bye bye.
Adios.